while we're on the subject of salaciousness, I am happy to tell you it's back in Super Bowl ads. And I think America is just fine with that. Now, I do think it's interesting. You get a preview. You know, the big game is this Sunday. It's going to be Chiefs versus Eagles. And these things can be a bit of a cultural touchstone, right? Like, just where are we as a nation? They are removing from the end zone the end racism signs. That's big, right? Because we've been subjected to those lectures from the NFL for 4 going on 5 years now. They are not eliminating the so-called Black national anthem. We're going to have that thing, which is divisive in this context. Yes, it is, but they're doing it. We are going to get a halftime interview of President Trump, unlike Joe Biden, who wouldn't sit for one because he couldn't. Trump has weighed in on the Super Bowl, where he will be attending, and let me see if I can find what he said. He posted 2 great quarterbacks in this game, also an unbelievable running back, and the absolute best tight end in football. Now, we think that's a reference to Saquon Barkley on the Eagles and Travis Kelce on the Chiefs. Incredible coaching. If they would only get rid of that really weird-looking new kickoff deal, which actually makes football more dangerous, there's some new kickoff at the NFL, they would be doing everybody, especially the fans, a big favor. Anyway, it will be a great game. I'll be doing the interview before the game at 3 p.m. There hasn't been one in 4 years. Gee, I wonder why. Okay, so that's Trump. And then you tell me, like all over Twitter the past 2 weeks, anything that happens, you see like a Trump thing or Trump dance or, girls celebrating Trump, and you see the line, "We are so back. We are so back." That's kind of how I feel looking at this Carl's Jr. ad. We are so back. It's featuring an influencer by the name of Alex Earl. Watch.
Let's be real. Everyone's going to be a hot mess after the big game. Been there. Done that. And I've got just what you need to cure that post-party bug. The Carl's Jr. Hangover Burger. Egg, double bacon. Yeah, you need that double bacon. Charbroiled beef, hash browns, cheese, and sauce. Just the way I like it. And guess what? It's free the day after the big game. You just have to download the Carl's Jr. app and sign up for my rewards. So get your free hangover burger on Monday, February 10th. He'll definitely need one.
Okay, now Victor, Alex is a very attractive woman in a bikini with an enormous burger, and there are guys drooling over her. It's been 8 years since Carl's Jr. did this.
She had a gas-guzzling sports car, not an EV.
Yeah.
So, and, it kind of reminds me of during the Reagan years. You remember the 1984, you're too young maybe, but they had that great scene where the woman runs in with the ball and she throws it into the screen. It's Orwell's screen, and that's supposed to be a competition for Apple. Apple was coming in. Everybody said IBM or Microsoft would crush Apple. And this woman runs into this Orwellian crowd that's mesmerized by these and she just throws a ball into the screen and it shatters. It was very famous. And it was kind of an epitome of the age that Reagan was kind of, that whole period of 84 to 85, 86, it was like, we don't have to do any of that stuff anymore. And that was a very liberating period when he came in. He hasn't done, with all due respect to his memory and legacy, which was wonderful, I don't think he did as much in 8 years as Donald Trump has done in 4 years and 1 month. I really don't.
Right, especially the last 1 month.
It's not even I know, it's just
it's
not even a month yet. It seems like a year, but and he's not done yet. He's indestructible, and everybody.
Don't you think there's something to it? Like, I feel like there is something significant to the fact that the obvious nature of men and women is back on screen and being celebrated. That women love to be sexy. We're appropriate. And in a Carl's Jr. ad, it's totally appropriate. And men love to fawn over them. And that's a dynamic that actually leads to the continuation of humankind. And it's fine. But we went through this crazy period. It's no accident that it's been 8 years, right? 8 years ago, we were at the height of the Me Too era. Now it's like, you know what? It's fine to show off the female form and have guys drooling over her instead of the stupid Gillette ad which was like some self-flagellating guy trying to show us what a feminist he was, right? Like, something's changing. We are so back, baby.
And you can see it with comedians now. Comedians are dropping all of the self-censorship. They're talking about everything. Chris Rock, it's back to where it was. It's almost there. And I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be one of the most wonderful things for so-called minorities. Where I work, I think maybe the four most accomplished people where I work were Shelby Steele, Tom Sowell, Condoleezza Rice, and Chiron Skinner, and they're all African American, but race was always incidental. It was never essential to them. And they competed, and they all grew up in the period of, not Chiron, but the other three grew up in a period of Jim Crow. And yet they were spectacular scholars, and I think now that's the model. And I think if African American people they'll realize that this DEI was a hindrance because it unduly stigmatized everybody, in many cases unfairly. Because, as I said, I went to lunch twice a month for 15 years with Tom Sowell, the two of us.
Oh, you're so lucky.
It was like Tom was like a genius, and Shelby was the same way. And I talked
Carol Swain too.
With
She's actually coming on next week.
Condoleezza Rice. Yeah, I mean, they're all. I mean, African American people have excelled in so many fields, and they don't need DEI. And the people who are the mediocrities of all races, I think, and a lot of the DEI is promulgated by white virtue signaling, performance art, guilty whites that feel that that's going to make them somehow feel good about themselves in lieu of actual accomplishment.
It's ridiculous.
When I'm in academia, and unfortunately I'm still in it, most of the people who are DEI who are white are mediocre, and they just want to hammer that. Look at me, and you want to say, well, what are you publishing? What are you writing? What are you teaching? And they're all not preeminent. And so we've got to get rid of this commissar system, because if we don't, and I think we've almost got rid of it, what we see in the FAA or the Los Angeles Fire Department, it's going to be endemic, and all of our institutions are not going to work anymore. And we're going to be like the former Soviet Union or a third world country. But I think we've been saved in the nick of time. If Trump had not been elected, I just shudder to see what would have happened the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm. No, totally. The back and forth between Hillary Clinton and Sean Duffy, I don't know if you saw it. It's the greatest thing.
I did.
I'm going off of the Super Bowl for 1 second because this is just too good. Okay, where is that post? I've got to find the Hillary Clinton, the original packet. Hold on. Yeah, it's the Solana packet. Okay, sorry. That's Mike. He's coming up next. All right, so here is the Hillary. She tried to troll Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary. And Duffy tweeted out the following on X. Big news, talk to the Doge team. They are going to plug in to help upgrade our aviation system. Hillary Clinton decides to weigh in. They have no relevant experience. Most of them aren't old enough to rent a car. And you're going to let them mess with airline safety that's already deteriorated on your watch? Duffy, Madam Secretary, with all due respect, experienced Washington bureaucrats are the reason our nation's infrastructure is crumbling. You need to sit this one out. Hillary, U.S. airlines had gone 16 years without fatal crashes. Then MAGA fired the FAA chief, gutted the Aviation Security Advisory Committee, and threatened air traffic controllers with layoffs. Now there have been 2 fatal crashes. Hope your unvetted 22-year-olds fix things fast. I thought he was just going to walk away because she was being so obstinate. No, he didn't. He came back at her. Duffy, I know you're lashing out because Doge is uncovering your family's obscene grifting via USAID, but I won't let you lie and distort facts. The FAA administrator announced he resigned over a month before Trump took office, and the air traffic controllers were always exempt from Trump's civil service buyouts. The previous administration shamelessly used U.S. Department of Transportation as a slush fund for the Green New scam, throwing away money and resources on wasteful environmental and social justice projects rather than updating our nation's antiquated air traffic control systems and other critical infrastructure. I'm returning this department to its mission of safety by using innovative technology in transportation and infrastructure. Your team had its chance and failed. We're moving on without you. because the American people want us to make America's transportation system great again. And yes, we're bringing the 22-year-olds with us. Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, she's never recovered from the 2016 defeat. She really hasn't. She's been crushed. She used to be kind of a normal person, and she had some respect, bipartisan, but after 2016, she joined the resistance, and she was just a crushed person. And she's very lucky, you know, Megyn. If you look back, she's a very lucky person because she destroyed classified documents that were under federal subpoena and 30,000 emails in total, and then destroyed the devices under which they were written. And if Donald Trump had done that, I mean, he wouldn't have been and they let her off. She's been given a pass her whole life. And I don't know what the degree, I don't think Chelsea Clinton got any money, but I don't know why you'd give any money to a Clinton initiative, given the record of that. Anything with a Clinton name on it, going back to Clinton speaking, you know, in the mayor of Moscow, giving him $500,000, then suddenly Hillary sees to release North American uranium to a Russian company, and the foundation got, you know, money from Russian oligarchs. So that whole Clinton enterprise is corrupt, and it has been for years, and she knows it.
It stinks.
I think
all right, wait, I got to do one more. I got to do one more
out.
Super Bowl ad with you. One more. You're my cultural commentator here at VDH. This one, you mentioned comedy and how it's coming back. Well, Shane Gillis was a comedian who got canceled during the height of the wokeness because he got hired by SNL, and then it emerged that in one of his comedy routines, he did an Asian accent. So they canceled him on SNL for doing an Asian. It was just absolutely absurd. He's back too. He is starring in the latest, this is no accident, Bud Light ad, which is all testosterone. Here.
You gonna go fishing tomorrow?
I got a colonoscopy tomorrow.
Fellas, I accidentally threw a lame party.
Okay, Ted.
They're on their way.
Big men on the cul-de-sac.
They're here.
You call this a party?
Cul-de-sac party.
Launch. These beers are a metaphor for an invitation.
Is that our leaf blower? Party at the sack.
You are cordially invited to the end of the cul-de-sac.
This is incredible.
Your mower smokes meat?
Oh, a smoker cuts grass.
Hell yeah.
I spent most of my money on this.
New rig? Fully custom.
How many Bud Lights can you fit in that puppy?
As many Bud Lights as it takes.
A lot of Bud Lights. This cul-de-sac's popping.
Bill, get off the boat. The HOA's already breathing down my neck.
It's bearded men, guys with baseball caps, party at the sack, smoking meat with the women. And I didn't see any fake women by the name of Dylan Mulvaney. This company has heard us. It's obvious.
Yeah, I think they don't hire any more Harvard graduates to be their ad czars, and they decided that the 0.01% of the population is not as profitable as white male, working class, I guess, or any
their base, their bread and butter,
Hispanic. Yeah, that's their base, and so I guess they figure they're not going to commit suicide anymore.
We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point, as the largest generation is hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and our rising cost of living, and we could have a very big problem on our hands. So what are you doing now to protect your family for the future? Are you diversifying? Gold can be very useful to you in this. It can be a safe haven in hard economic times. And Birch Gold has a super great reputation, and they will make it very easy to diversify a portion of your savings, if you so choose, into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k, in whole or in part, into an IRA in gold, and it will not cost you 1 cent out of pocket. Protect your future today. Text MK to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold and a copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. There's no obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. You just text my initials, MK, to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.